The first insult seemed small, then came another, and another, until one day a mother who had given everything to her children realized she was becoming a stranger in her own home. What happened next changed her family forever. Mary was a 48-year-old mother of three. She had spent most of her life sacrificing for her children. When her husband passed away years earlier, she worked 2 jobs to keep food on the table. She skipped vacations so her children could have school trips. She wore old clothes so they could have new ones. Her children, Jonathan, Laura, and Justin, knew she loved them. But as they grew into young adults, something changed. Slowly, respect disappeared. Jonathan, the oldest, spoke to her as if she were his employee. "Mom, where's my dinner? Mom, why haven't you washed my clothes yet? Mom, you're always forgetting things." Laura rolled her eyes whenever Mary offered advice. "You don't understand how the world works anymore." Justin, the youngest, copied his brother and sister. He interrupted her constantly and laughed whenever she expressed an opinion. At first, Mary ignored it. "Young," she told herself, "they don't mean it." But the behavior became worse every month. One evening, she spent 2 hours preparing a special dinner. The family sat down. Jonathan took one bite. "This is cold." Laura frowned. "The pasta is overcooked," pushed his plate away. "Just order something online." One of them thanked her, not one. Mary sat quietly. The room felt strangely empty. For the first time in years, tears filled her eyes. But she didn't let them fall. That night, while everyone slept, she sat alone in the kitchen. She looked around the house she had built through years of sacrifice. A painful realization struck her. "My children don't respect me because I've taught them that they don't have to." She had always solved every problem, always said yes, always accepted rude behavior, always forgiven without correction. Without realizing it, she had become the family servant instead of the family mother. And then she made a decision. Everything would change the next morning. Jonathan woke up late. "Mom," he shouted, "my work shirt isn't ironed." No answer. He walked downstairs. Mary sat calmly drinking coffee. "Mom, didn't you hear me?" "Yes," she replied. "Then where's my shirt?" "In your room." "It isn't ironed." "I know." Jonathan stared. "Aren't you going to iron it?" "No." "What?" Mary smiled. 23 years old. "I believe you can operate an iron." Jonathan looked shocked. That afternoon, Laura called. "Mom, I need money." "What? A concert?" "No." Laura laughed. "What do you mean, no?" "I mean no. You're my mother." "Exactly, not your bank account." Laura hung up angrily. Justin came home later. "Mom, make me something to eat. The kitchen is right there." "What? You know where the refrigerator is?" Justin thought she was joking. She wasn't. For the next week, Mary stopped rescuing everyone. She didn't clean up their messes. She didn't solve problems. They could solve themselves. She didn't tolerate rude comments. Whenever someone spoke disrespectfully, she calmly ended the conversation. One evening, Jonathan snapped. "Why are you acting like this?" Mary looked directly into his eyes. "For years I have given you love. I'm teaching you respect." The children complained constantly. They called her stubborn, difficult, unfair. But Mary remained calm. Then she began preparing the second part of her lesson. A lesson they would never forget. One Saturday morning, she gathered all 3 children in the living room. "Have something important to show you." She handed each of them a notebook. Inside was a list. At first they didn't understand. Then they started reading. Every page contained sacrifices Mary had made throughout their lives. The extra night shifts she worked, the vacations she never took, the medical bills she paid, the dreams she postponed, the opportunities she gave up. Each page represented a year of their lives. Jonathan's hands trembled slightly. Laura became quiet. Justin stopped smiling, but Mary wasn't finished. She placed 3 sealed envelopes on the table. "What are these?" Jonathan asked. "Open them." Inside each envelope was a number, a very large number. "What is this?" Laura asked. Mary replied softly. "This is the estimated value of everything I've done for you after your father died." Children stared in disbelief. "But that's impossible," Justin said. "Exactly," Mary answered. "You could never repay it." Silence filled the room. Then she said something they would remember forever. "I am not showing you this because I want payment." She paused. "I'm showing you because somewhere along the way, you started acting as if my sacrifices were obligations instead of gifts." Nobody spoke. Tears appeared in Laura's eyes. Mary continued. "For years, I accepted disrespect because I loved you. Love without boundaries teaches the wrong lesson." She pointed toward the notebooks. "Every sacrifice was given freely. Then she pointed toward herself. But that does not mean I deserve to be treated without respect. Room became completely silent. For the first time, the children truly saw their mother, not as a service provider, not as a machine that solved problems, but as a human being, a woman who had given up countless things so they could succeed. A few days later, another surprise arrived. Mary packed a suitcase. "Where are you going?" Justin asked. "A vacation." "With who?" "Myself." Children looked stunned. "You never take vacations." Mary smiled. "That's part of the problem," and she left for an entire week. During that week, reality hit the children hard. They cooked, cleaned, paid bills, handled responsibilities, solved problems. And for the first time, they understood how much their mother had carried for years. By the time she returned, the house looked different. But more importantly, the people inside looked different. Jonathan greeted her at the door. "Welcome home, Mom." He carried her suitcase. Laura hugged her tightly. Justin had prepared dinner, not a perfect dinner, but dinner nonetheless. As they sat together, Jonathan cleared his throat. "We owe you an apology." Laura nodded. "We became selfish." Justin looked down. "We thought everything you did was normal." Mary smiled gently. "It was normal." They looked confused. She continued. "It was normal because I loved you." "Then Jonathan, didn't you tell us sooner?" Mary answered with a lesson that would stay with them forever. Because sometimes people don't understand your value until you stop allowing them to take it for granted. Years later, the family often talked about that season. Not as the time their mother became strict, but as the time she became strong, the time she stopped being a victim, the time she taught them that kindness and self-respect must walk together, because kindness without boundaries becomes weakness in the eyes of selfish people. And love without respect eventually becomes pain. Moral of the story: never allow people, even those you love, to treat you without respect. Being kind does not mean being a doormat. Being loving does not mean accepting disrespect. The moment you teach others how to treat you, you teach them how much they should value you. Remember, setting boundaries is not selfish. It is self-respect. And when you respect yourself, others learn to respect you too. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more inspiring stories. And tell us in the comments, have you ever had to stand up for yourself and set boundaries? We'd love to hear your story.